Hello and welcome to session 9. This is week 9 of our spiritual quest here at St. James United Church. This is the United Church of Canada, and we're talking about a new creed that we have had adopted way back in about 1988 in its final form. We have been talking about the purpose of the church according to a new creed. We are called to be the church, and today's session is to love and serve others. It's all about serving the whole community, serving the community of God. So most of us have volunteered at one point or another, whether informally agreeing to babysit the kids next door for a while, or formally agreeing to serve on the board of directors of a local organization, a club, campaigning for a political party. A life of Christian discipleship, however, is more than just volunteering. It's Christian discipleship is what we do all of the time. There's really no difference between our work life and our Christian life because we are on duty all the time. Jesus' disciples are called to live in ways that enable them to love and serve others in everything that they do. Sometimes it means taking on a large life-altering choice. We can be pretty sure that Jesus would tell the drug dealer or the bookie or the wealthy CEO of an exploitive business, go your way and from now on do not sin again. That was a direct quote from John chapter 8, verse 11. Other times, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It's just an attitude adjustment about the things that we are doing. An attitude adjustment at work, an attitude adjustment in the community. Jesus came as a model servant, having volunteered for duty that would bring him grief and suffering and humiliation from others, but it brought him honor from God. It wasn't something anyone could take on lightly. Jesus counted the cost and voluntarily became dead to self. He transcended the ordinary boundaries of self-interest, and he calls upon us to make the same transcendence. Give up being selfish, giving up that quick reaction to situations, and choose a course of action that is the right one. The word ministry means service. That's what it means to be ministry, and we are all ministers. The way the writers of the New Testament saw it, true ministry was that service which did for others, motivated by the life, teaching, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Ministry isn't only something for the paid accountable minister or those who have attended some advanced level of piety, but it's something that we're all called on to do as disciples of Jesus. Neither is ministry necessarily after hours and unpaid. Any work can be honestly offered to God as a ministry. The bus driver can be a minister, driving her bus cheerfully and thanking God for the day it changes an attitude. A dad who believes that God has called him to be a stay-at-home parent can offer daily routine to God as a ministry. Even working in a factory or in a mechanic shop, it doesn't matter. The work can be ministry if the work is done for God. For disciples of Jesus, the greatest difference between work that is ministry and work that is labor is just the mindset that's involved. For one's work to be ministry, ideally it would be a belief that the work contributes directly or indirectly to the genuine benefit of humankind, or an understanding that one has come to work doing work out of a sense of God's guidance. That's a highly personal thing. There is a sense of personal engagement that allows God to use the work to speak to and transform the work one is doing, and sometimes this means seeing one's work with fresh eyes. It's a conviction that love is the motivation for the work that we are doing. Ministry is about loving others. That's the commandment that Jesus made. Love one another as I have loved you. But ministry is also about loving ourselves. Disciples of Jesus soon discover that serving others in the way that God has gifted us to serve is a profound form of self-realization and self-love. So I'll close with just by reading a section of the book Jesus 24/7 by David Bruce that we've been following. It's a short piece entitled Ministry and Congregational Life. Since being a disciple of Jesus, he writes, means being part of the church, the local congregation is often the first place that people test out their sense of call to and giftedness for various kinds of ministry. Every congregation has its limitations, but most can provide you with opportunities in areas such as worship, like planning and participating in worship services. That often uncovers a set of personal gifts in leadership or administration or faith or wisdom. We're always looking for people to read the scriptures or to participate on and do committee work and so on. The work in the church can be discipleship, delivering faith development programs with children or youth or adults. It can be teaching, it can be administration. There is also fellowship, organizing events, creating opportunities for people to reach out to one another. That can involve pastoring and encouragement and hospitality. We have a ham and scallop potato supper coming up this Saturday, and a lot of people are involved in that fellowship. Ministry can be stewardship, using the resources of the church effectively and planning the events, discerning the path forward, and promoting generosity. Outreach, there's a big one, engaging with other people who are in need, refugee families, food bank, out in the cold programs, being involved with social justice, or a big one right now is ecological concerns about climate change. All of these concerns call upon the gifts of healing and helping. Some congregations have clear position descriptions for their volunteers, but most churches, particularly the small ones, rely on those currently working at ministry tasks to mentor others to take over as time goes on. The whole idea is that you train somebody to take your place. Ministry is not easy. If we focus on ministry as a means of spiritual growth, building up the faith community and being of service, then it becomes a whole lot more meaningful, and failures as well as successes can be used for God's purposes. So loving and serving others is the whole point. Along the way, when God calls people to ministry, it's good to remember and encourage others to remember at least these 4 things when pondering the sense of ministry. We need to respect our own physical and mental health. Those of us who are in the seniors bracket certainly understand the limitations of the changing limitations of our physical beings. We need to respect our social obligations. We do have families and other people depending on us, so that is important. We can't dedicate so much of our lives to the church or to any other organization so that our families suffer. We need to respect other people's rights and dignity. Not everyone will receive our ministry in the way that we would like them to. And we need to respect fellow disciples of Jesus. Fellow disciples may not support us in the way that we would think they should. They may simply be pursuing a different sense of call for themselves. So we have to trust the word of other disciples that they are doing God's work as they see it. Thank you very much for being with us today. We will continue along next week with another chapter. We have 3 more to go after this, chapters 10, 11, and 12. So just 3 weeks left. Looking forward to being with you again next week. Goodbye.